Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Learn English Language Skills. Well, as English teachers, it is a cause of worry and it becomes a daunting task for you to improve the writing skill of that particular child. Maybe 10 of them in your class are good, but 3 to 4 are not. So as a teacher, what should you do? How should you plan your teaching that ensures that the learning is happening properly? This video contains some techniques of scaffolding. What kind of resources should you provide? What kind of group task? And how to review. I am focusing on one writing skill, that is descriptive paragraph writing. Let's get started. Let's address some questions which are playing riots in our students' mind. Questions like, how to improve my writing skills? Can I ever score well in my paragraph writing? Or, I think I don't possess the skill at all. We as teachers have variety of students in our class, and we need to be mindful that all kinds of students understand the concept or the lesson that we are trying to teach. So let's see how many sessions a descriptive paragraph writing will take, ensuring all students are participating and enhancing their skills before they attempt a question themselves. In the first session, we will draw our students' attention on the main elements of descriptive paragraph writing. What is it? That they should use vivid language. The writer must use language that appeals to the reader's 5 senses, that is, sight, smell, sound, taste and touch. In other words, use descriptive language. And why to use descriptive language? Because it describes the sensations felt by the senses. So the reader, when he's reading your paragraph, is transported in that particular place or relates to that object which you are describing. Because it is appealing to the 5 senses. Let's further explain it with the help of an example. There are 2 sentences given here. Both are describing a tree. Let's see. First one, the tree was tall and green. Second, the soft and damp pink flowers of the dogwood tree smelled sweet in the cool spring air as the wind whistled through its yellow-green leaves. Did you see the difference? Now ask the students this particular question. If these 2 sentences both describe the same tree, which sentence provides a better picture for the reader and why? As a teacher, when you are giving an explanation, don't just stop there. Involve the students, pose some questions, have an interactive sessions. So your students should be able to see the difference and answer. Probably that the first one doesn't have good descriptors. It doesn't deal with the reader's 5 senses, whereas in the other one, they can feel the touch, maybe the soft, the pink flowers relates to the color, the smell, the cool spring air, everything is evoking some kind of a feeling. This is the main element of descriptive paragraph writing. After which, ask them to keep this particular piece in their folder. Whatever resources that you are using as a teacher, it's always better to take a handout of it. They can put it in their e-folder or as a hard copy in their other folder. They can always use the resource as a reference later. After explaining the elements of paragraph writing, take them through the words associated with 5 senses. Here I've just typed some as sample. You can change the words according to the levels of your students and give each student a handout. I prefer a handout because my task wants the students to annotate or underline the word which are new to them. So some words they would be knowing, like under the hear category, loud, they would be knowing. They may not be knowing greeting. So you're exposing your students to new vocabulary. And this vocabulary will be used when they are writing a descriptive paragraph. So expose them to words associated with 5 senses. It's activity time in the second session. Divide the class into groups and ask them to describe the villa using words, sentences, or phrases of their own. Now make it more interesting and challenging. Give them a situation that supposing you are a property dealer and you want a good price for this particular villa, how would you describe to the buyer? And make it competitive, that we will have a competition which group described the villa the best and which group will get a good deal. You understand what's the meaning of deal? Money. Which group will get a better deal? So let the student take it as a competition. Ask them to brainstorm, give them a time limit, and they will share the descriptors that they are using. You as a teacher will write the responses on the board. Just write the keywords. Don't write the whole sentence that they are using to describe. Just keywords, probably beautiful, huge, has a swimming pool, is magnificent, etc., etc. Let the students go through the visual learning. So the teacher needs to write only the keywords that the students have used to describe the villa. After all the groups have described, you as a teacher project a description written by you. And you become a property dealer, modulating your voice. Remember, this is an activity. So you are a property dealer now, and this is the way you'll modulate to sell this particular villa. I've just annotated some. I'm not going to read out everything. So you can say, sir, this villa is an epitome of beautiful architecture. Look at the lavish garden. You will feel like a monarch. Its imposing structure gives you the feeling of sitting in an ivory tower, glancing at your kingdom. It's an elixir to the suffocating health. So all this kind of a description, let the students listen to you and ask them to compare. Your description was better, students, or this one? Leave it there. Don't say that my description is better. Let them analyze. Now give them a handout of this particular piece and ask them to annotate words and phrases which they find interesting. This will be an individual task. So maybe one student would annotate lavish because lavish is a new vocabulary for him, or maybe not lavish, he will annotate majestic. So the learning will differ, but the learning is happening. And ask the students to save this particular piece in their folder because this will be used as a reference when they write the piece on their own. Provide them a list of vocabulary. I have given some like fascinated, eternal, pristine, whatever as a teacher that you want to give. Now, why are we doing so much of hard work? What did we first do? We gave them the 5 senses vocabulary. We gave them a reading material on the description of the villa. Now we are giving them yet another set of vocabulary. Why? So that our students grasp something new, some new vocabulary, some new way of writing a description. Maybe your average student knows fascinated fine. Maybe he doesn't know pristine. By this particular material that you have provided him, he will pick out this word. So as a teacher, we also have our goals to make the students learn. Now, without the scaffolding provided, how will a student learn? So we as teachers have to scaffold, have to provide the support. In the next session, now give each group yet another task. Again, what are you doing? You're scaffolding. You haven't given an individual piece to write. It's a group task. What will they do? They will brainstorm to complete this incomplete paragraph. You have given opening lines, you have given something in the middle, and you've given the closing lines. All they have to do is complete it. But terms and conditions apply. And what is that? Tell the students that you will use the resources provided to you. Maybe some vocabulary can be helpful. It can be included here. Maybe a phrase can be included somewhere here. So go through the reading material, reading resources provided, the list of vocabulary provided, and try to include it here. Not that those papers just go and sit in their folders. No, ask them to use the material in this particular piece. So your group members are brainstorming together to produce a wonderful written piece. Then you can ask them randomly to read. So they will read aloud. Everybody will listen. So there is a listening activity also happening. Some will be very impressive pieces. Some may be average. At the end, just clap for everyone. So everyone is happy. Your average or your dull or your super intelligent, everybody has participated. Right? Okay, yet another group task. Provide a handout and ask them to do this task. Replace at least 3 words in the passage with words of your own to compare which vocabulary is better, yours or the one which is already there in the paragraph. So again, either an individual work or a group work, it's up to you, right? So what are they doing? They are writing the word chosen. For example, they want to change huddled with something else. So they will write huddled under the word chosen and whatever the descriptor they want to use as a synonym for huddled. Ask them to self-analyze. Is my descriptor better than huddled, or let the huddled word stay there because this vocabulary doesn't need to be changed. So they will self-analyze. They will take the ownership of their learning. It's time that the students take the ownership of their own learning because enough support has been provided in the form of reading material, vocabulary list, group tasks, etc. Now they will attempt the question themselves. You as a teacher, be mindful in framing the right question. What do I mean by that? That there should be a kind of description within your question so that the student picks up a thought from your question and extends or elaborates it in his own flair. Do take a round to gauge the learning, that the students are not getting stuck. Do they need your assistance? Allow them to refer to the resources that you've provided. You can also show them a few pictures. They can choose and write, describe in their own words. Give them a choice to choose from 2 to 3 pictures. Don't restrict them with one. Once they have written their pieces, they will exchange their work within their group. The group members will now become reviewers. They will review each other's work by reading the paragraph that their friend has written, and they will also have a checklist with them. Like so, in the checklist, they will write their comments under each section. That is, whether the paragraph appeals to the 5 senses, does it have coherency, how are the spellings, how is the grammar, and what is lacking, how can this paragraph be improved. So when now the writers are becoming reviewers, there is a different kind of a learning happening. So they are gauging what is lacking and how this particular paragraph of my friend can be improved. If it is perfect, they will write their comments accordingly. Checklist is very essential to review the work. It gives them a sense of responsibility. We have reached the closure. At this point, ask the students to write one takeaway and one muddiest point. You can give them sticky notes or they can just write in their notebooks. Takeaway means, how was the learning? Muddiest point, if there's anything that they've not understood, you can address that issue quickly in the class. If you want your students to read aloud one takeaway muddiest point, good. If they don't want to, don't force. Hope this video was useful to you. English is interesting. Keep learning with me and stay connected for more such informative videos. Do subscribe, do like. This is Vinita. Thanks for watching.